Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
You know, I was sitting with my coffee this morning, looking at this patent filing for a company called Merge Labs.
Oh, yeah.
And the document, it describes using ultrasound technology to literally write data into a human brain.
Wow.
And then 10 minutes later, I switched tabs to look at these sketches by Jean-Michel Basquiat that have been, hidden away for 40 years.
Right.
And it just hit me. We aren't looking at art and tech as separate things today. Not anymore.
No, it's a total collision course, isn't it?
It is.
Usually we treat them like different worlds. You go to a gallery for the past and you read a tech report for the future.
Exactly.
But the research we've got for this month, for February 2026, it suggests that distinction is completely collapsing.
So what are we seeing instead?
I'd say we're in this moment of intense temporal connection. We're using 2026 hardware to decode the 15th century.
And at the same time?
And at the same time, our own biology is starting to physically merge with the machines we use.
It's a convergence of historical recovery, and I guess you have to call it biological integration.
That's a good way to put it.
And just to warn everyone listening, the mix today is eclectic.
A little bit.
We're going to talk about that Basquiat discovery. We're also going to look at a Renaissance masterpiece by Antonello da Messina that is being revitalized or maybe replaced by virtual reality.
Expanded might be the better word, but we can definitely get into that.
Okay, expanded. We'll also discuss an artist who has anchored his work to the blockchain and his own biological life.
Yeah.
I mean, an existential contract.
It's pretty wild.
And of course, we have to talk about Sam Altman's new startup, Merge Labs. That's where the mind reading comes in.
And the mind writing, which frankly is the part that should actually worry you.
Right. So a lot to get through. Let's start with this idea of looking back.
Okay.
We have this fascinating report on an exhibition at the Louisiana Museum of Modern Art.
Basquiat's drawings of heads.
Yes, but these are not the chaotic graffiti-style paintings you see on, Uniqlo t-shirts.
No, and that's what's so arresting about them. If you close your eyes and think Basquiat, you think of noise, right? Crowns, skulls, crossed out words.
A lot of energy.
A ton. But these drawings are quiet, they're intimate, they're just heads stripped of all that other context.
And they were largely invisible during his life.
Totally. And the sources argue that showing them now isn't just about finding more content. They call it an act of historical justice.
I love that phrase, historical justice. But what does that actually mean in practice? Is it just, hey, we found more stuff?
It's deeper than that. See, historical recovery is usually about archaeology finding a lost object.
Right.
But justice here means correcting the narrative. Basquiat he was consumed by a celebrity, the radiant child. The art market basically ate him alive.
And flattened his story.
Exactly. So by using our current museum infrastructure to highlight these quiet, private moments, we're giving a voice to the human being underneath the brand. We're using the present to fix the past.
That idea of fixing the past, it connects directly to another recovery mentioned in the notes, Sofonisba Anguissola.
The Renaissance portrait artist.
A powerhouse in her time.
Well,
but for centuries, history just sort of sidelined her.
Yeah, they attributed her work to men or just plain ignored it.
So what's happening now?
It's the same mechanism. We're using our current cultural lens, which is more attuned to things like the female gaze, to find value that previous generations were blind to.
Okay, so that's one kind of recovery.
But I want to pivot to something a bit sharper, because recovery isn't always polite archaeology.
Oh.
Sometimes it's a weapon.
You're thinking of Cameron Neal.
I am.
Yeah.
Winner of the 2025 Outwin Buchever Portrait Competition. His work is, it's heavy.
He didn't use paint or clay.
No. He used the archives of the NYPD.
I spent some time with the stills from this. It's haunting. It's surveillance footage from the 60s and 70s. So grainy, black and white, glitchy.
And context is everything. That footage was created as a tool of control. It was meant to monitor, police, and suppress African-American communities in New York. The camera was a weapon of the state.
So what did Neal do with it?
He took that archive of the oppressor and completely repurposed it. He cut it, he looped it, he turned it into a statement of identity and resilience.
So he's turning the evidence of surveillance into art.
He's seizing the means of production, visually speaking. This is what I mean by tech as a lens. He's forcing us to look at the past through the very eyes that tried to control it. But he's subverted the power dynamic.
It's a complete inversion.
Totally.
Incredible. It really makes you question who owns the image of a person, which actually leads us perfectly into the technology of seeing.
The Ecce Homo paradox.
The Antonello da Messina painting, yeah. So we have this masterpiece, Ecce Homo. It's heading to Sotheby's.
A physical object. Wood, paint, 15th century.
Worth millions. But then we have this platform, ArtQuest VR, offering a digital version.
Right.
And the claim is that the VR version offers something the physical one can't. Now, I have to push back a little. Is this just marketing hype? I mean, how can a headset be better than standing in front of the actual brushstrokes?
I share your skepticism. I do. There's an aura to the physical object that digital can't replicate.
Okay.
However, the analysis points to a very specific physical limitation of the real world. If you go see this painting, where is it?
Behind bulletproof glass, probably, with a velvet rope in front.
Exactly, and you're seeing the recto of the front. But these panels are three-dimensional objects. They have a verso, a back.
With the wood grain, the seals, the history.
The wormholes, all of it. And in the physical world, you cannot see both sides at the same time. You're locked in one perspective.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
In ArtQuest VR, you're not bound by physics. You can flip the object in 3D space. You can see the front and back simultaneously.
And you can zoom in.
To a microscopic level, you can see the crackle and the varnish in a way the human eye just can't from 3 feet away. So the argument isn't that it replaces the aura, but that it expands the information.
So it's not a substitute, it's a forensic tool.
Precisely. We become digital archaeologists. But, and this is a big but, none of this matters if the experience makes you want to, vomit.
The motion sickness factor.
Exactly. The hardware of perception. The best scan in the world is useless if the glasses lag and the illusion breaks.
So let's look at the hardware, because the numbers in this month's report are just jumping off the page. We've got XReal raising $100 million.
They're partnering with ASUS.
And the spec that caught my eye is the refresh rate, 240 hertz. For the uninitiated, can we explain why that number is so important?
Sure. Think of it like a flip book. Flip the pages slowly, you see the gaps, it looks jerky.
Right.
In VR or AR, if the screen doesn't update fast enough when you turn your head, your inner ear and your eyes disagree, your brain thinks you've been poisoned.
And that's motion sickness.
That's motion sickness. 240 hertz is fast. It means the screen is updating 240 times a second. At that speed, digital objects start to feel solid. They stick to the world.
And then there's Loomis hitting a 70-degree field of view.
Which is the other piece of the puzzle. Most AR glasses right now, it's like looking through a mail slot. You see a little digital square in your vision.
Yeah.
70 degrees starts to fill your peripheral vision. That's when real immersion actually happens.
But here's where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe a little dystopian. The consumption side.
The Apple Vision Pro and the NBA.
The Lakers example, yes.
Yeah.
So the pitch is amazing. You put on the headset, and bam, you are courtside at a Lakers game. 180-degree immersive video.
You can see the sweat on the players.
But it's a big but.
Yeah.
You have to be physically located in Southern California, Hawaii, or parts of Nevada to access it.
Geofenced reality.
It's so weird, right?
Yeah.
The whole promise of the metaverse was be anywhere, anytime. And now we have digital experiences locked to physical geography.
It creates this tension between democratization and exclusivity. On one hand, VR can transport you. On the other, we're seeing the rise of digital gated communities.
It's not just about affording the headset, it's being in the right zip code.
It really is. It reminds me of that Fourth Estate painting, the struggle for access. Only now, the struggle is for access to the premium version of reality.
The VIP lounge of the senses. Speaking of older tech, though, I have to mention the V&A Museum.
They're in London, yeah.
They're focusing on digital archaeology, and they're collecting the Nopes tag. Do you remember this thing?
I do. The plastic rabbit.
The Wi-Fi-enabled rabbit from the mid-2000s. It wiggled its ears and read your emails out loud in a robot voice.
You're so silly now.
It does, but the V&A is treating it like a serious artifact.
Then they should. It's profound, really. We think of archaeology as, digging up Roman coins.
Sure.
But in the digital age, a device from 2005 is ancient history. The Nabad's tag represents our first clumsy attempt to bring the internet into our living rooms as a physical companion.
And today's XReal glasses.
In 20 years, they'll be sitting in a glass case right next to that plastic rabbit. They're artifacts of how we tried to see.
We are wearing future museum exhibits on our faces. But apparently, companies are fighting tooth and nail over who gets to own that exhibit. There's a lawsuit mentioned.
XReal versus Feature. Patent infringement.
It sounds like boring corporate stuff, but the sources frame it as a battle for the interface.
And that is the so what here. This lawsuit is all about who controls the view.
The view.
It's about the waveguide technology. For those who aren't optical engineers, the waveguide is basically the complex piece of glass that bends light into your eye to create the hologram.
So if you own the patent on the best one,
You control the layer between humanity and the world. You control the interface.
that's a terrifying amount of power. So on one side, corporations fighting for control of the interface, the view.
Right.
But that seems like the perfect pivot, because while corporations are fighting over patent rights to control what we see, artists are fighting to control how we are seen.
And nobody embodies that struggle better than Ai Weiwei.
He's the ultimate counterweight. He's everywhere this month. Back in China after 10 years, exhibitions in L'Aquila, Italy, and his first solo show in India.
But the theme is always consistent.
Art as a civic responsibility.
He proves the medium doesn't matter as much as the message. Whether it's Lego bricks or ancient Neolithic vases, he's dipping in industrial paint.
He's creating friction.
Always. He forces you to stop and look at the systems of authority.
And the notes draw this really interesting line between him and some historical heavyweights.
The human interface idea.
Right. They mention Frida Kahlo and Tarakatui.
This is a crucial connection. We get so obsessed with the tech interface, the glasses, the screens. But look at Frida Kahlo. She has a major show coming to the Tate Modern.
Okay.
Long before VR, she used her body as the interface. Her medical corsets, her injuries, her fashion. She turned her physical existence into a visual language to communicate her reality.
And Tarakatui is doing this now, but with sound.
Yes, at the Tate Modern's Turbine Hall. But it's not just music. Atui builds these complex instruments that merge sculpture and electronics.
And what does that do?
He creates sound you feel in your bones, sub-bass vibrations, tactile noise. He's using sound to map social realities. He's turning the air in the room into an interface that hits your body directly.
So the body was the original interface. But now we're looking at a literal merger of the body and the tech.
This is where things get really unsettling.
This is the part that genuinely got to me. We need to talk about DanGis.
The Italian digital artist. A wild story.
He has a project called the Oath Keepers. It's on the blockchain. But it's not just a JPEG you buy.
No.
It's tied to his biological life. The source calls it an existential contract. Can you break down how that even works?
It's a fascinating use of smart contracts. Usually a blockchain contract is transactional. I pay X, I get Y.
Sure.
But here, DanGis has likely set up an oracle, a data feed that connects the blockchain to the real world. In this case, it's connected to like a health monitor or a dead man switch.
Wait, so the artwork is monitoring his heartbeat?
Effectively, yes. As long as he's alive, as long as that signal persists, the artwork exists in one state. But if that signal stops, if he dies,
The contract executes.
and it irrevocably changes the artwork or locks it forever, he has coded his own mortality into the currency.
That is heavy. It reintroduces death into a digital realm that's supposed to be immortal,
Exactly. The source compares him to Erich Bilatov, the Soviet artist.
which is a great comparison.
It's brilliant. Bilatov worked under censorship, right? He used the language of Soviet propaganda to create a space of freedom inside a restricted system.
Right.
DanGis is doing the opposite. He's working in a digital world of infinite freedom, but he's voluntarily creating a restriction his own lifespan.
So DanGis is tying tech to his life.
Yeah.
But then we have a company trying to tie tech to our brains,
Merge Labs, the Sam Altman startup.
emerging from stealth.
Oh,
$250 million in funding.
252 million, yeah.
The headline is that the tech can not only read the brain, but write to it. And they're doing it with ultrasound.
Right.
Okay, explain this like I'm 5. How does sound write a thought?
It sounds like magic, but it's physics. Usually we think of ultrasound for those fuzzy gray pictures of babies. That's imaging.
Okay.
But Merge Labs is using focused ultrasound. Imagine a magnifying glass focusing sunlight to a single point. They're doing that with sound waves.
To a point inside your brain.
To a tiny cluster of neurons. They can target a specific memory center or processing area and vibrate them to stimulate activity.
So they're mechanically poking my neurons with sound.
Essentially, they're modulating neural activity. If you can stimulate the visual cortex, you can theoretically make someone see a flash of light without using their eyes. That is writing to the brain.
That is the ultimate convergence. We started this talking about holding a VR controller. This eliminates the controller. The interface is invisible.
It is.
And this raises a question that the sources link back to the sci-fi author Philip K. Dick.
Who is the android today?
Right. What does that mean here?
Dick was obsessed with the line between the authentic human and the machine. If you have a system that can write data to your brain, or if you're viewing the world through AR filters that curate your reality, at what point does that distinction just dissolve?
It's the ship of Theseus, but for our minds.
It is. If I replace 20% of my visual processing with an AI filter, am I still seeing the world, or is the machine seeing it for me?
And that's where the art comes in.
That is why art is the space where we process this anxiety. We need artists like DanGis, like Cameron Neal, like Ai Weiwei to remind us that the human spirit of resistance matters.
So let's try to synthesize all this. We've gone from looking at intimate drawings Basquiat hid away to focused ultrasound that could beam thoughts into our heads.
A pretty big jump.
What's the thread?
I think the thread is the shift from viewing to living.
Say more about that.
Well, look at the trajectory. With Basquiat or Messina, we are viewers. We stand back and look at an object. With VR in the Lakers game, we are immersed. We're inside the object. But with Merge Labs and these biological blockchain projects, the interface is gone.
We're living through the technology.
Exactly. It's not a tool anymore. It's becoming a layer of our biology.
We aren't just users anymore. We're components.
We are. And that's why I think the final thought here has to be about agency.
Resistance.
Resistance. Whether it's Ai Weiwei standing up to a government or a painter exploring their identity, art is the friction. It's the thing that slows us down and makes us ask, is this what we want?
It keeps the technology from just steamrolling us.
It keeps us human.
That's a powerful place to land. Art as the friction that keeps us human. I think we're going to need a lot of that friction in the next few years.
I think you're right.
Well, we have certainly covered a massive amount of ground. If you want to dive deeper into any of these stories, and believe me, the full breakdown on that Oath Keeper's contract is worth the read.
Oh, for sure.
You need to visit our website. That is artdig.it.
That's ARTDIG.IT.
Go there, subscribe to the newsletter, follow the social channels. These trends are moving fast, and we are tracking them all. We'll be back next month with another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Until then, keep your eyes open, whether you're using AR glasses or just the ones you were born with.
Take care, everyone.
See you next time.